All right, we are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Attacking Third. As I begin retweeting, uh, no Gus this week. He is on vacation. Joining us for the first time, the third member of our gang, Mr. Diego Bianchi. Diego, welcome to the show, man. Glad to finally have you here.
Yeah, what's up, man? It's nice to make my debut tonight. How you doing?
Yeah, man, it's a great night for you to make your debut, but Saturday night was a totally different whole. It was a whole other ball game, dude. Uh,
Frustrating.
Yeah, Union fall 3-2 on late goals by Montreal, going down a man in what was that, like the 88th minute, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
It was Curtin himself said that he was disappointed. He felt the PK goal to start off the match for Montreal was a bit fluky. Um, Honestly, I tend to kind of agree with him on that. It did not look too much like it should have garnered a PK for that, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I may not know as much as I think I know. Um, but he felt like the team started to come together a bit towards the end of the first half. There were some really solid opportunities there at the end of that first half, and then from from the start of the second half on, Diego, just break down for everybody what happened.
Man, well, you got to start with that Joe. I think it was the 69th minute. He got the second yellow, right? Or was it the
Actually,
88th minute?
yeah, somewhere around the 60s, somewhere
60.
in like late 60th to like late 70th, it happened.
Yeah. So, first of all, that was dumb. He was already playing on yellow. I feel like right there you could see the frustrations from Julian Carranza that have been building up throughout the season because he hasn't been playing great soccer, in my opinion. So that was careless. Put him a man down, and then I feel like from there on, I think Jim Curtin tried to he took Alejandro Bedoya out, and then he put in Damian Lowe, went to a 5-man back just to
Yeah.
try to hold on to that lead because he went down 10 men. I
Hmm.
thought he should have kept Ale in because they were putting good pressure on the ball still, even down a man. And then as soon as he went to that, let me bunker down, put an extra defender in there. That's where Montreal started to take over the ball.
Yeah, it
Started
really
to take all
was.
that possession.
A lot
So
of Losing a lot of that pressure in the midfield on the transition forward for them definitely gave them a better chance at being able to get a lot of stuff in. He was saying, especially late when we were down a man, that we had enough numbers in the box to be able to get a clearance on service, but the ball just wasn't bouncing the way he was hoping it would have. Um, I want to get into the goal that tied it up because this has been I consistently this whole week have just been boggled by they score. You go to VAR to check if the goal is good, determine it's not good, go and check to see if there was a penalty, but instead of coming back with, they're not a penalty, just a foul in general, instead of coming back with a call of foul, no foul, you call goal.
yeah, I'd never seen a double VAR before in my
Yeah, me
life.
neither.
So yeah, I don't know. They got the call right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think in the end they got the call right. I think the more was just like, come on, MLS, you went to the screen once, get it right the first time. Don't come and
yeah,
give us no goal and then go back and oh, you know what? First of all, Glesnes got ran over by the guy.
he did.
So if you're going to VAR, you should be able to check and just call that foul right there. But they did
Yeah.
it, and then we know what happened. MLS blundered it.
Well,
Dropped the ball, and they gave him the goal back. Like I said, at the end of the day, it was the right call, but get it right at the beginning.
exactly.
It makes you look amateur. It makes the MLS
Yeah,
look amateur when something like that happens. So
yeah, it really does.
that was my take on it. What was your take on it?
Yeah, honestly, the exact same, dude. You shouldn't have to go back a second time to get the call right. It made everything a lot more confusing because of the fact that they were like, we're checking to see if the goal was good. Let's go do that. And they come back and they're like, no, the goal wasn't good. But there may have been a foul. Let's go take a look at that. And then come back and be like, oh, what? No, goal. Like it just it looked like it could have gone like really bad for just the MLS in general.
Yeah.
But I mean, seeing them still get the call right is a good thing. But like you had said, having to go back a second time just does not look great.
No, what did Jim Curtin say after the game in the press conference? Wasn't he like, even though they got the call right, if I'm a fan, that's not the kind of something along these lines. Like that's not the kind of game I want to watch where you got to go back for the second time and make that call right. Like you never see
Yeah,
in like NBA, for example, they have a replay. They go one time, get the call right, and then even if it takes a little bit longer than it has to take the extra 45 seconds to a minute. You add it on at the end anyway. I feel like the guy went there, made a decision, didn't really analyze the play because you could see Kai Wagner in the corner keep the guy on clearly.
yeah,
So and
yeah. The
that's
whole
why
time,
the referee on the sideline doesn't put his flag up and doesn't call the
exactly.
offside. He's right in front of the play. He sees that Wagner keeps that guy on. So
Yeah,
it does it makes that's what is bad for the MLS. And it makes you look so amateur that you don't see it in any other sport. Even in Europe, you wouldn't see that in soccer.
yeah. Of which I believe Curtin actually got fined for that statement post game, if I recall correctly, because someone in his presser, I think it was today ahead of next week's game, Orlando, which we'll be talking about in a little bit. Uh, literally said to him like if there's a way that you can talk about it without being fined, like how would you like consider it was yeah, they asked him like if there was any way that you could talk about like how everything's going to be going over the next couple of weeks with the international duty going on. Is there any way you could talk about it without being fined? And he went, yeah, I mean, I'll use a different league for this example this time. So like he definitely like understood like, yeah, like it was stupid of me to say that, but at the same time like I'll still try and have as much fun as possible. um but I mean, just he said from 45 until the red hit that he was very happy with the team's performance. He felt like they performed like they're supposed to, like play like us, he had said. After the red, he was hoping that they would bend a little bit but not break. And they didn't really do a good job attacking the ball defensively, he had thought. Um, someone did ask Coach Curtin if he felt that was the best that they looked attacking wise all year so far, and he 100% agreed with that statement, which I do too, because that was probably the best that you really have seen Philadelphia play so far this season in terms of their attack, just because of the fact that most of our goals have been either Gazdag on the PK
Oh, yeah,
spot,
the
or those
PK
two from
spot.
Carranza to start off in the Columbus game. So
And
it was
the one Torres and the Torres goal that
yeah,
the
yeah,
goalie completely misplayed.
yep. So like it definitely was the best. Like, that's exactly what the Union attack is supposed to look like, and it's good to see that form come around. He definitely made it a point that you're definitely at this point going into having less players because of the international duty. Um, it's definitely not great to not get any points in that match. He definitely expressed like a lot of frustration with that, but nobody is still angry about the game because the fact that they understand what is coming up and what they have to be able to do now with guys like Daniel Gazdag and Jose Martinez, and the under 20s that are gone too, in Brandon Craig, uh, Quinn
Quinn
Sullivan,
Sullivan.
and Jack McGlynn.
Yeah.
So um, it's it was definitely not the best game that I saw at all. I was definitely genuinely upset with that game. I feel like I'm more upset with this one than I am with the Miami loss, just because of the fact that you lost Carranza in the process.
Well, the most frustrating thing to me, right, is I felt like they did play a pretty solid game up until Carranza gets a red card. Even in the first half, they've been struggling mightily to get goals in the first half. By the way, they haven't
Yeah.
scored a goal in the first half all season besides that first game.
Yep.
And that was at the very last minute they got that penalty. That guy got the
Hmm.
penalty right before half. So
Yeah.
that's the frustrating. I thought they had a pretty good first half, and then I thought they had a great start to the second half. So the little bit of momentum they got towards the end of the first half, and they take that into the second half, take the lead in Montreal on that terrible field, because that field was terrible. Um, yeah, not to get any points out of that one really hurts. Hurts the most so far this season.
Yeah. Definitely.
Because that Miami game, they were atrocious from start to end. So like you feel like you deserve that loss,
Yeah.
but this one they got down early. But I mean, unfortunate handball by Glenn's in the box. Um, but yeah, you guys, it hurts not to get points out of that one. It really
Yeah.
does.
it's really tough, especially because of how well they played offensively. You would have expected them to be able to walk away with it, and
Yeah,
to have it turn the way it did. Like not only did you lose this game, but you lose Carranza for a pretty key matchup early on in the season with your couple of your key contributors not being a part of your 11 or your bench to come into this match, and I believe the next match as well, because both matches happen in the next 2 weeks.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it could be a good thing for Carranza. Like I said, I feel like he's been struggling a little bit. So maybe a couple games off to just get some more practice in and watch the game from another view can help him maybe come back in a little bit better form, clear headed. Um,
Yeah.
but it's definitely frustrating. It was definitely a frustrating week. I was frustrated watching it and writing about it. Even,
Oh
even when
yeah.
I was writing, even when I was writing my article this week, I just got frustrated about it all over again. You
Oh
know?
yeah, dude. Like just sitting here, because I was taking some last minute notes from the presser earlier today, and I could just feel my heart rate going back up just thinking about how that
Yeah,
match ended. I was just like, oh no, we got to talk
because
about that. That's right.
I was hoping we could at least come out with a point, you know. So when you
Yeah,
go down
exactly.
one, you're like, all right, let's just get out of here with a point. You take that lead. And by the way, it was the most beautiful goals the Union have scored all year.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, that first goal was Martinez with a beautiful pass over the top to Gazdag. Gazdag beautiful pass over the top to Ure. Ure with the one touch bang finish. Which
Yep.
Ure's great at finishing. Then that
Oh yeah.
second play, Ure finds Ure at the top of the box. Boom,
Yeah,
beautiful goal to the bottom
that
left.
beautiful little heel flick pass as the ball's
Yeah,
coming through to Gazdag to get Ur right there was beautiful. And
beautiful. So
it's definitely exactly what you want to see for sure.
that's
That's how we play. That's how you want the
right.
Union to play on the attacking end. Like the defense and the midfield have been there, but the red card definitely killed all that momentum that we had going into the tail end of that match for sure.
Definitely. Like I said, I feel like when you go to like bunker down, you put an extra defenseman in, you give up more possession. I feel like that opens the other team to more chances. And you see that in soccer a lot. When it gets down to the last 10 minutes, they make a sub to just play back defense. And then you see that goal given up so many times. So
Yeah,
when he put low in after I felt like Alejandro was putting good pressure and still playing pretty well out there and not giving up as many opportunities, then Lowe came in. Not saying Lowe's not a good defender or anything, but you just give up all possession. And then when a team holds the ball for a long time, that builds momentum. You know, they
yeah.
start finding little holes, they start moving in. So both goals came in kind of the same way. They just put them in through the left.
Just came
So,
in that one crease that happened to be open every time. And
yeah,
Curtin himself said that he felt like Glesnes was there on the second goal, just bad timing on the jump, and that's literally all it was. Just he managed to get that lean on him and get over top and get the header on it.
I
That's
feel like Mimbazo was it? Mimbazo trying to flop a little bit at the end there and trying to get a
yeah,
penalty inside the box instead of trying to play that strong. You
hmm
know, he just did. He was what's the guy's name? Quinto.
yeah, Quinto.
Yeah, he had that goal. I feel like that was kind of soft by Mimbazo.
Yeah,
Hit that back
definitely a
post.
bit of a softer play by Bizo there. Normally he doesn't play like that, which is weird to see him just try and go down and take that penalty instead, because he can play really strong coming off of a run from the outside, and
Yeah,
we've seen it plenty. It's just for some reason he decided to just give himself up, which wound up not being the smart choice at all.
no, and I mean Bednick has been letting us. I mean, he hasn't made a save yet, has he? Like a real
Uh
save.
yeah, I don't think he's made like a legitimate serious save yet.
You know, that's a difference between Andre Blake and all these other goaltenders. Andre Blake always finds a way to make a spectacular save. So,
Oh
like,
yeah.
okay, that game ended 3-2. It probably would have ended 2-2 with Andre Blake in net because he would have found a way to save one of them goals,
Oh
I
yeah,
believe.
definitely. I
You
honestly
know?
feel like it probably would have stayed 2-1
Yeah,
if he even gave up the PK, to be fair.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a hurt. I mean, I would be okay with them giving that kid Trent they brought in a chance
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
goalkeeping instead of Bennick. Bennick's kind of old. I feel like he looks a little bit done. What's he like 13th year in the MLS?
Yeah, something like that,
So
roughly.
I
Like
think I was
12th or
reading something.
13th.
He's played like 16,000 minutes or something like that in the
Yeah.
MLS. It's pretty ridiculous how
Yeah.
long that guy's been around. So you see the step down from Andre to Bennick.
Yeah, definitely. We got Pat checking in here saying it was Montreal's first game at home of the season. That is very true. They're actually
That's what
moving.
that scared me a lot coming in.
Yeah, that was the main concern that Gus and I both had last week, was that it was their first match at home, so it was very possible that they were going to be a little bit tougher to have to play against. And
They got a very good turnout too. That place
oh yeah,
looked packed. I was
it was
like, damn.
jumping. Yeah, well, it's
How
I believe they either that either was their last match at the Olympic Stadium, or they have one more there, but they're moving to a new stadium this year.
good?
So yeah,
Because that
it's
stadium's pretty
it is a
bad.
it, it is about god dang time, because Olympic Stadium is an absolute mess and has been
Yeah,
for so long. Because literally, like, FC Montreal is the only team that's been playing out of there.
yeah,
I,
for a
I, I
while.
think I think maybe like the Grey Cup for the CFL is there a couple of times a few years, something like that. But like nothing really ever really happens there aside from Montreal playing there. So like, yeah, we can't anymore.
Yeah, we have to get out of here.
Yeah, please. But I mean, honestly though, like, am I disappointed with the loss? Absolutely. I would have loved to have gotten points, but you know, still early. Again, leaving points on the table is definitely not great, but you know, going into matchups now where you have teams that are missing key players, so you might be able to exploit some positions in some certain battles. You might be able to steal a few here and there until the boys come back, and you never know. Sometimes the international duty for a couple of guys that may not have been playing at their top could actually bring them to that level again. So
Yeah,
it's very possible we get back a McGlynn or a Sullivan that is playing at a whole different level now, or even Gazdag coming in and just being like, okay, I'm back to
yeah.
exactly what I was doing last year. So,
Find the
oh
MVP.
yeah, like, like time to just go full just wreck mode and just not
Yeah,
stop. But it's, you know, gotta be able to take that loss on the chin and just move on. And they, from what Curtin said, they seem to be doing that and doing it pretty well. So
well, I took a lot of positives out of that loss.
yeah,
Like I said,
definitely.
I think I know it didn't show up on the scoreboard, but that first half might have been the first half, the best first half they played all season.
Yeah, for
I know
sure.
people don't want to hear it because they didn't score, but in my opinion, I thought the ball was moving pretty smoothly, especially in the last 15 minutes of that first half.
Yeah, you got
Like
a
you
ton of
felt the goal
solid
coming.
opportunities. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
for
were
the
you were
first
just waiting for it to happen, and just kept
exactly.
not breaking.
For the first time all season, I felt like the Union were on the verge of scoring, not just like a goal came about. They were like pressing, they were coming up forward, all the momentum was going in their direction. And then, like I said, bang, bang, to start the second half, you take the lead. So you got to take the good, you got to take the good with the bad out of that loss.
Yeah, always.
Montreal's first game, they had the crowd behind them. You got a red card, but you played good offense. You got on the board a couple of times. You already got a couple goals, which is good for him to get going. Because I feel like
Exactly.
Yuri has potential to give us 15 goals. No reason why he can't.
Yeah.
If he stays in form, because I know he gets hurt. He gets hurt a little bit. So we got some positives to take out of that game, I think.
Yeah, and especially when you think going into the match against Orlando, you're more than likely going to have Andres Perea getting a start. So getting his play out on the starting 11 from the beginning might actually be something good for this team in terms of finding some more footing offensively, more than anything, for sure.
Well, I had a funny comment on one of my posts earlier. The guy asked when did I think Andre Perea would take over for Alejandro Bedoya, because he was saying that he thinks Alejandro Bedoya's physical attributes don't keep up with his mind anymore. He wants to be good, but his body can't be good anymore. So he was asking, when do you think Perea eventually takes over for Alejandro Bedoya, if he does? I don't think he will, personally.
No.
I think the captain's there to stay in for at least this season, and then possibly next year, maybe. I mean, but Bedoya will be going into what, his 12th year next year.
Yeah.
So that's the
Yeah, year
question he asked
12.
me. I don't know if you have a take on it. What do you think?
Um I mean, I feel like if a change needs to be made with the 11, that's probably going to be one of the first ones that happens. Um as much as I would not like to see it, because I like Bedoya's defensive mindset of play in the midfield to complement what we have going that can get us going forward. Um but if it has to be done, it has to be done. Um you always hate to see that kind of thing happen with a guy like an Alejandro Bedoya, because you know what he means to the team, and not only the team but the city too, with what he's done. So I mean, it's definitely always tough to see that one veteran guy that you're like, this is our one guy. See him get pulled out of that spot, but if it has to happen, it has to happen.
Yeah. So my dad, for example, he comes from another country, so he grew up on soccer,
Yeah,
and so I got him into watching the Union. You know, he doesn't know anything really the players or anything because, like I say, he really only watches European soccer and them leagues.
of
And
course.
I'm like, "What'd you think of the game?" And he's like, "They all stink, right?" And I'm like, "What do you mean they all stink?" And he goes, "The only guy I see that knows what he's doing out there is Alejandro Bedoya." Now he doesn't get that. Like you have to look at this league at the talent that's produced in this league. You can't say
Exactly.
obviously they're not the world class players, so you compare them to the rest. But what I'm saying is, I think what my dad sees is the experience that
Yeah,
he knows exactly what he wants to do. Like you just said, he knows exactly he wants to get that ball, turn around. He knows how to build up the offense. He knows
yeah,
how to exactly play his position. You know what
exactly.
I mean? And I think
Yep.
that's what my dad sees from the like him watching world class players. He sees the experience in Bedoya. So, in my opinion, if that's what he's seeing from watching higher level play, I don't think it's time to move on from Bedoya.
Yeah,
If he
definitely.
looks like he's the only guy that's the most
Right.
confident player out there,
gotta
so
gotta keep that Fairleigh Dickinson University product around, man.
exactly. And then so yeah, that's a little bit about Alejandro Bedoya from my point of view.
Yeah, and I'm definitely right there with you. Exactly like you said. He like just like your dad said. He definitely has the most experience out there compared to a lot of the guys that you'll see take the field on a regular MLS match day for sure. But I
Exactly.
mean, again, it just comes down to if I feel like he's one of those guys like when he feels like he's done what he can, he lets you know that that's all he's got.
Right.
And that's exactly how he's going to be until the end of his career. He'll finally just look and be like, "That's it. That's the
It's
best I
time.
can do, and I've done it all."
Right.
And he'll be that dude who will respectfully bow off. Definitely, like he's not gonna be a minutes eater, even though he's not producing. Like he'll realize and be like, "Look, man,
It's time.
time to let everyone else rock and roll, dude. I'll
Yeah,
be on the
I
bench
got
cheering at
30 minutes in me per game. You know, it's time for
yeah."
me to come off the bench.
Yeah, like I'll stay over here and just get loud for this entire team this whole time, but bro, physically, not anymore.
Yeah.
But
But
I mean, the sort of talking about like guys that are sticking around for a while. We locked in a 14th player until at minimum 2025 by extending Nate Harriel, dude. Give us your thoughts on that.
I like Nate Harrow. I mean, I don't think he's ready to. He's not as good as Bazio yet. But his defense, his defense is nice. Like he's one of our better defenders, and his speed. If he can get the offensive game down, that might be his position for them years to come.
Yeah, very staunch defensively, I feel, and like you said, if he can get some offensive work going along with what he already has to offer to this team, he could become a complete player.
Yeah, the little bit of time we've seen him play, I feel like he recovers on plays. Like
Exactly.
he'll get caught out of position, and just his speed alone gets him right back into the play. And I feel like that's special in a young kid. You could really build off that. So the extension, what is it through 2025 with a team option of 26 and 27?
Yep, same as the McGlynn deal.
Yeah, so that gives you plenty of time to continue to build his skill and his craft and make him your everyday guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just I feel like that's the move that you had to make because Bizo can be very up and down
Yeah,
with his overall play, and at least with Harriel, you're gonna get solid defense. Even if he doesn't give you the incredible offensive play, his defensive rating is going to be very high, and
well,
that's very key to this team because defense is big for the way are able to move ourselves around.
yeah, and I think his speed's big too, though, because like I said, he can press a little bit more up the field and get
Yeah,
caught out of position sometimes that we've seen this year. And I feel like he recovers very well to get back
very well.
into position and not give up too much space to the ball. I think he did it very well against Alianza.
Yeah, definitely did. And just to give you the list of the players that we are signed or have options for 2025. Uh, we have Glesnes, Gazdag, McGlynn, Perea, Nelson Pierre, Andre Blake, Jesus Bueno, Jack Elliott, Richard Odata, Raffanello, Matt Real, Torres, Trent, and Ua all locked in
Yeah,
until minimum 2025.
that's big. And that also helps a team build cohesiveness.
Yeah,
Like they get to be together for a while, and I feel like teams that get to build cohesiveness with skill, they win championships. So let's hope that's what the future holds for the
yeah.
Union.
Just have to hope that the future also includes Jim Curtin because he has still not been extended, and his contract actually runs up at the end of this year.
Yeah, what do you think that's about?
I honestly don't know, but I do know that after the independent investigation into the whole Berhalter Reina situation came out, they did say that U.S. Soccer will be hiring a head coach by the summer after they get a head director, which they offered the position to Oguchi Onyewu. Um, and from what I've been hearing, Jim Curtin is definitely like one of the names that keeps getting thrown around. So it's very possible that they haven't made any sort of a discussion yet because of that fact. But I really hope that's not the case, and they're just waiting for the season to wrap up before they come to the table because Curtin wants to focus on the team right now.
Right. See, look, I'm an international guy. That's the soccer I love to watch. I love to watch international soccer. I love to watch my home team play. I love Jim Curtin for the Philadelphia Union. I don't love Jim Curtin for the men's national team. I think the 4-4-2 is a lot of like run and gun, get long passes, get up the field quick. And I feel what Greg Berhalter built here was nice midfield where you could play from the back all the way through the mid, kind of like not a Brazil style, but the way they play, where you
Yeah,
play three guys up front, three guys in the midfield, four guys in the back. Boom, you send it out, you get the pressure up through the midfield, up into your wingers, and you work it from there.
yeah,
That's the kind of coach I feel like you want to continue with the men's team because you have a good midfield. You have players that can control the ball. You have players that can take over a game. Let's not try to stretch the field out too much and play long ball the way the Union play. You know what I mean? That's how I feel like the Union play from watching them. They kind of
yeah,
just
definitely.
3-4 passes, they're up the field and they're trying to score very quickly and all counterattacks. I don't want to see the men's national team play that way. We see the way international soccer is progressing, and it's progressing in more ball control, more control in the midfield, getting the ball to your strikers, not this long ball passing European type of style play.
Yeah, it's definitely not the I call it the hockey style home run passing that is ruling the international game right now. It's a very controlled game. Um, the I guess the way that I can sort of quantify it to myself with like the stuff that I sort of see a lot of is I play a lot of Magic the Gathering. I play a lot of MTG Arena on my computer. I play the physical cards and stuff. There's different like ways that decks can sort of perform, and I sort of equate the way like soccer goes to that kind of thing. Is like
Exactly.
you have a certain deck to control what literally everyone else can do, or you have the deck that's like I'm just gonna go and smash your face. So like soccer is that different style of play where like there's a control style, there's a very offensive style, there's a style where you use your midfield more than anything else in terms of your transition play, where like you don't let your defenders come forward and you have those extra wing midfielders to make those deep runs on the outside instead. Like there's just all the it's a bunch of consistently shifting chess pieces throughout an entire match. And I feel like for this game, for the MLS game, Jim Curtin is definitely one of the best. For the internet,
If not the
yeah,
best,
if
you
not
know?
the best, yeah. And I feel like it I would love to see it be able to transition to the international game, but I really doubt that it would. So I would like to see him come to the negotiating table before this season ends and try and lock himself in along with all these amazing young players that we have. So we can just continue to really push that philosophy of like, you guys are great players. You do this job really well. Like, let's keep doing that. Like, just keep being able to push his philosophy throughout this team because eventually, like the guys that you have in Union 2, a lot of those guys are going to start to come up. Like we're already starting to see it. Like Nelson Pierre is part of the senior squad now, and
Yep.
he worked his way up. Nathan Harriel is another example. Like there's guys that have come up through the system that are starting to prove themselves a little bit to get consideration for senior squad, if not starting 11 now.
Yes.
So you want to keep that coach there to be able to help consistently move that
Grow
pipeline
that up.
forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Um, like I said, I love Jim Curtin for the Union. He's the perfect coach for the MLS. He knows how to win in the MLS. Like you said, that game, the game you play, not every coach is meant for every deck. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
This team is constructed for the way Jim Curtin coaches. This is his built squad for his formula.
Yep.
And I don't think the U.S. team, the men's national team, is built that way. I think the men's national team is built with a little bit more finesse, a little more skill. Like I said, a little bit more. That's a little bit different from Jim Curtin's style of play.
A little more je ne sais quoi than what Curtin's running.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And I mean, I just, I would like to see, I don't know, because like, do I want Berhalter to come back to coach this team? Maybe a little bit of me like he has a decent rapport with a vast majority of the guys, save for maybe Gio Reyna at this point. But I mean, like, also with what happened, I feel like you kind of want to try and move on, but at the same time, you put Reyna into the national team for the Nations Cup play, so I don't really know. Like, it puts me at this weird. Oh my goodness! I just noticed in the background on my camera that a flash of lightning just hit. Apparently, I'm guessing that's been happening for a little bit. Uh,
Wow.
first thunderstorm of the spring on the third day of spring. Let's go.
Yeah.
I,
Already. Let's go.
Dude, I was born and raised here. Was born at like the cusp of winter, and I hate the cold weather.
Really?
I hate it. I hate it
Yeah, I was.
with every fiber of my being. I was so bundled up when I went down to the home opener, and I was like, "This isn't enough," and I don't like this. Like,
Dude, what the game I went to, and I was sitting in in the press box. It was freezing. I just
oh
had
yeah,
on
dude.
a suit jacket. That's it.
Bro,
No coat, no nothing. Everyone in there was all bundled up, and I was like, "What did I get myself into without knowing?" Like, what was I thinking? It was freezing, like the coldest I ever was.
yeah, dude. It's incredible. Just being able to just go to like the places that you're like being there as a fan. Like I remember it, the last match I went to. I went with my dad, and it was 2011 versus New York Red Bull. And I remember looking at the press box during the match and being like, God, that would be so sick to be up there. And then looking down on the side of the field and being like, oh, that would be dope too. And then just all of a sudden just being there and being like, this is exactly how as sick as I thought it was over a decade ago. It's
Yeah,
still the dopest thing I've ever gotten to see in my entire life.
ah, it was the coolest experience ever. I hope I can do it for the rest of my life. You know what I
Seriously,
mean?
same here. Same
Like
here,
that's
dude.
it was awesome. I went anywhere I went, anywhere I wanted to go in the stadium, and then I went to the press conference, and I'll be
Oh
there
man.
again on Saturday. Tim Curtin
Oh
better
yeah,
be
dude.
ready. Tim Curtin better be ready for my question. This time, the first game I was a little nervous, so I was just observing and I was
Oh
just
yeah.
seeing what all these other reporters do and stuff, and now I'm comfortable. Now I'm ready to be myself in there this time on Saturday, and like Pat was saying before the show, we were talking with him. It's time to ask him the tough questions. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
time to start hitting hard.
Yeah, let's really find out what's going on with this Union team.
Yeah, man. Speaking of Orlando, they come into town on Saturday. I know in the description I put playing in Orlando. I read the schedule wrong. I'm a genius. That was my
Yeah,
fault.
yeah, we're
Um,
here. I'll be
yeah,
there.
it's kids night, so that's gonna be a fun time.
I don't know, man. The weather's not supposed to be great. We're supposed to be
Hey,
a rainy, thundery night. I think.
it'll make for even better soccer though.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
be let's
true.
be totally fair. Some guys
That's
will
true.
probably take those sliding challenges just a little bit, start them just a little bit sooner to just get that slide across the pitch. I know I
Yeah,
would.
yeah. Oh man, the other game, like I said, I was freezing in the press box, and that crowd was rocking, no matter
Dude,
how cold it was.
they do not care. You can even tell from the Alianza match, like it does not matter how cold it is there. If the Union are putting boots to pitch, dude, they're there. They're rowdy the full 90. Even during halftime, they're getting all nuts and stuff, man. Just be like, because like I had said, my credential when I went down was for photo video, so I was field side.
Right,
I was
right,
literally like where I was standing was like the Sons of Ben were like
right
right
behind you.
there, right behind me, just
Oh,
going the
super
whole
loud.
time. Dude, it was so awesome.
Yeah, that's
It,
nice. That's nice. I didn't get to go. I didn't go down there because I was just saying. I was only
oh yeah,
imagining how cold it was in the field. So I was like, at least I get a little bit of coverage in the press box, even though it has no like windows or nothing. You still got walls protecting the
yeah.
wind from hitting you.
Yep,
So, but then they
dude.
said
That
the Alianza game was even colder. I've seen a
yep,
reporter who's been going there for a while, and he said it was the coldest he's ever been in the press box
yeah,
against Alianza.
yeah. I want to say the field temp, if I recall correctly, on kickoff was like 29 degrees or something
Yeah,
like
but
that.
the wind was super tough that night.
Yeah, like
25
20 to
miles.
25 mile an hour wind gusts,
Yeah,
man. It
yeah,
was
that was tough.
brutal. Yeah, dude. Here we go. We actually got we have a couple of people checking in here wanting to say what's up to you, Diego. Got your boy Anthony Stas checking in,
Yeah, yeah, that's my boy. What's up, dude? How you doing? Thanks for checking in, Ant. What's going on?
and then your man Eric Michael Stankovic
Yo, 140, 140, Kansas
shouting
State
out
University. Let's
KSU.
go.
Yeah, man, dude, this has been. We do still have the Orlando match to cover, and we do have Mike Laro checking in. Mike, what's
What's
going
up,
on,
Mike?
buddy? Guess
What's
he
up,
just
baby?
finished up his. I think he might have just finished up his thing over on out of the box actually, which is pretty decent timing. Joe, what's going on, buddy?
Yo, my guy. What's up, dude? Thanks for checking our show out.
Man, we're gonna dive right in on this Orlando match. Couple of quotes from Jim Curtin going into it. He said it's definitely going to be a test of depth for both teams with all the guys that everyone has called off to international duty. Um,
I mean, they're both dealing with almost the same amount. I think
yeah,
they're both down 7 players and they're both down about three starters. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
2, 3 starters. So
yeah, and
everyone's in the same boat. It should still stay at an even playing field.
yeah, should definitely still stay even keel. And he said that this match is going to be quote two good Eastern Conference teams getting together in a big game early in the year. And
Yeah.
I 100% agree because with this time away with a lot of the key players, this is really where your depth is going to really come into question, and being able to win games with a lot of your second team guys being sort of injected into a starting 11 is going to prove a lot for sure.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to prove a lot. It's going to prove. It's going to show if you have enough depth to win. Because and with all these other tournaments going on, you need this. Your depth has to be there to hold up. So it's a big game to test that. See what I think Torres is going to play a big game here and see if he can fill Gazdak's shoes while he's out. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
there's definitely a lot to see in this game. There's definitely a lot to learn from this Union team in this for both teams. Orlando
yeah,
has a lot
definitely.
to learn too. Orlando's
Yeah.
coming off arguably their best year, and they won their first cup last year. What was it, the Lamar Hunt Cup or something like that? U.S.
Yeah,
Open
the
Cup.
U.S. Open Cup. Yeah,
Yeah, they won that, so they're coming off their best year. They want to see what they're made of this year, and same with the Union. Union are coming off one of their better years ever. So
oh
both
yeah,
teams are trying to see what they're made of for the coming rest of the season. It's a lot we can learn from this matchup.
yeah, definitely. And Eric checking in here saying KSU is for the Keystone State Ultras. He's a
I thought he,
PSU
I
fan
thought he
for
meant
college.
Kansas. I thought he was watching the basketball tournament or something like
Oh
that.
shoot.
He was like, "Let's go KSU."
And then Pat here saying that Duncan McGuire leading Orlando in points with 2 goals and 2 assists. And yeah,
He's
I
been
mean
playing really good.
it's been really solid play from him. Orlando's actually been doing a lot better than I expected them to do to start the season. I saw them as going into the season as a team that would probably take a step back, and they
Yeah.
definitely haven't done that yet so far. So
No, I mean, well, out of all competitions, they were on a 4 game draw streak. They had four
yeah,
draws in a row, and then they lost to Charlotte 2-1. Even though I felt like after rewatching that game, I felt like they outplayed Charlotte.
yeah, they definitely outplayed Charlotte in that match for sure. It's just
They outshot them. They had more possession. They had more shots on goal. So um,
yeah,
they were coming off a pretty. They can bring some momentum into this game.
yeah, it's definitely proof that not the match isn't always just about showing dominance the entire time, because if a team can find that one crack in the armor that one time, they
That's
can
it.
definitely be able to walk away with 3 points and leave you wondering what the heck just happened.
You know what I feel like is going to play a huge part of this game? The fans.
Oh yeah,
We're both down guys. It's going to be maybe a rainy game. The fans are into it. It's hard to play. It's hard to play in Philly.
oh yeah,
Philadelphia has proven that over the last year.
hard to
You
play in
know,
Philly and during inclement weather too.
yeah.
Just makes it
So
even worse.
I think that's where the edge comes between these two teams. Like I said, with them missing so many guys, I feel like the home crowd Philadelphia pulls this one out and gets us the 3 points that we need.
Yeah, and then we actually have Eric checking back in here saying that defensively he's not worried at home. He's also happy that Ua got going during that Montreal match and saying that you need goals though, plural. And 100% agree. Defensively, I'm really not worried, especially with the home matchups. We always play better defensively at home than we do on the road. Um, Getting Ua going was definitely something that we needed. Um, Going into that Montreal match, I actually had said that Carranza was the player that I wanted to see start to get going, and it wound up being Ua that got going, and Carranza that wound up getting gone because
Yeah,
of the yellows.
which is fine. It's good to at least see one of them getting going. You
Exactly.
know.
It made it even better that a buddy of mine, shout out to my buddy Alex Martin. We were actually sending texts back and forth during the match. I was on my way home from work at the time, and I was like, "What were your thoughts on the first half, dude?" He was like, "Very solid and at the end there. Need to see Ua either start scoring goals or get the heck off the field." And the
Yeah,
second
and
he
then
sends
boom,
that,
boom.
the second he sends that message, first goal, I went, Ua though, and he went,
Yeah.
okay, I'll take it. Maybe I should just consistently talk crap on him the entire game. And then he just went, dude's not good. And my text right after that was just immediately Ua again, all caps. He was like, this is how it goes. Now we need Carranza to get. Now we need Carranza to get going. Second yellow, red,
Yeah.
bye. Shouldn't have opened my mouth.
Like I said, at least we got one of them going. Let's hope
Yeah,
that carries
exactly.
on. Like I said,
Yeah.
I feel like Ua in completely good form. No injuries, not hampered. There's no reason he can't score 15 goals this season.
Exactly, and he's going to be. I feel like he's going to be a big key to how this offense can produce as the season goes on, because a lot of stuff is going to start to flow through him just because of his speed going in towards the goal, and it's having that pace is going to be a big thing as the season goes on for this team to work as a very solid, cohesive unit. He's going to need to
Definitely.
be in solid form. So hopefully he doesn't get hurt because as you said he does a lot. So we gotta just play him careful, make sure he's keeping himself right, and hopefully everything goes the way it should. Got
Definitely.
Pat checking in saying what do the Union need to do on both sides of the ball to stop Orlando?
Well, Orlando might be a little bit hampered on offense. They're not going to have Facundo Torres, who's a big play creator for them at the 10. So they might be looking to come in here. If they leave with a tie, that's a good game for them.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like that's what they're coming. What do the Union got to do? Just continue to do what they do. They have the best back line when all playing together in the whole entire league with Glasses, Elliott, Carranza, and either Harry or Baggio. No matter who's in there, I feel like they're still the best back in the back line in the MLS. So it's got to keep doing what they're doing. I don't think Orlando is going to be good enough on Saturday to break that back line. In my opinion, I think we get a clean sheet.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's literally just going to be hoping that you didn't let the last like 15 minutes of the Montreal match just totally wreck your mindset, because you played incredibly well up until that red card happened. So hopefully you can maintain that same energy, even though you're missing a couple of the key pieces to some of that being able to get going. Hopefully the injection of these guys that we know have good talent can really help out here. And like you said, Orlando coming in and getting one is going to be a big deal for them, because historically in Philadelphia they are not great. Historically versus Philadelphia in general, they're not
Yeah,
great.
period. I think we played them 19 times. We have 13 wins or something like that. We have a lot of wins
Yeah,
compared to them.
yeah, it's very heavily tilted in our favor. And actually, I was just about to bring this up, Eric. It's perfect. I was about to say the main thing that I'm still seeing some issue with a lot of the time is some of the passes in the midfield. Um, not just from Martinez, and he's usually the main culprit of some of the passes that are supposed to be a bit shorter, having a bit too much heat on them.
Yep.
But I feel like the Union are definitely not a team that controlling possession means that they're going to win the game. A lot of the wins that they have, they're losing the possession battle. So being able to just at least facilitate as much as you can with your style of play, and coming in and playing that way that you played in the beginning of the second half against Montreal is going to be everything that you need to be able to get through this match for sure.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the problem with the 4-4-2, though. You
Yeah.
relinquish most of the possession,
Yep.
so you're okay with giving the other team possession, expecting them to make mistakes, and you can counter them on the other side.
Exactly.
So I would love to see more possession in the midfield. I just don't see that's the way the Union really plays. I feel like
Yeah,
it's going to
definitely not.
continue to stay lopsided on the possession, and we just got to hope that our defense can create our goals like they do.
Exactly, and they
Over
do
the
it.
top passes,
Yep,
stuff like that.
they do an incredible job of it, and like you were saying, having either one, Bizo or Harriel, on the opposite side of Wagner there is going to be very solid because of the fact they both have great pace. So having that key outside run, they both have a really good foot on the outside for service. Harriel, not as much of an offensive skill set as Bizo, but both still have a really good foot out there. Eric saying that the passes in the final third have not been great, even on the
No,
counter.
they haven't been
Definitely
great.
haven't. Definitely haven't. Although if I can get another heel flick beauty like I saw from Daniel Gazdag in to set up Ua's second goal, though, dude, I will take those kinds of amazing touch passes to curtail a lot of the bad passing that we've been seeing. But Pat had said on Orlando's 1-1-2 right now, and he feels like they need to come in and go all out to fight for their season lives. Um,
I think it's early to say fight for
yeah,
their season lives, game
yeah,
5. That's why there's no I don't feel like any team in the MLS hitting the panic button fighting for their lives right now.
yeah. No way, absolutely not. Like that would be like week 2 of the NFL season. Someone being like, "We're done."
Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's go for the first pick,
Yeah, like, the
Let's
tank has
tank it.
begun. You lose week 1 by 3 points. You're like, well, tank's on.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if you're a Houston Texans fan, you think that before the ball even kicks off week 1.
Yeah. That's a little different. That's very unfortunate for them.
Oh yeah. But yeah, they definitely I definitely do think that they feel like they need to get a win because of the fact that they outplayed Charlotte and still came up with a loss. Um but the main thing that you have to remember here is they're coming into what is widely known as one of the hardest places to play in MLS in Philly. And it's not even because of like it's not like the allure of like it's this huge stadium where noise just filters consistently. Like the noise filters for sure, but they didn't need some grandiose stadium to do it. They
No,
just
the
needed
people do it.
yeah,
They see the people.
they just needed 20,000 Philadelphians to be like, "Yo, you like soccer enough to just be rowdy for like 2 hours? Cool, let's do it."
It's
And
the
we
it's the
we
it's
were
the
game.
hardest place to it's the hardest place to come in and play in the whole MLS.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. If you can find somewhere that's tougher, please let me know, and I will genuinely explain to you why you're wrong.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that would be the easy part of that. Tell you how you're wrong.
Yeah, yeah. This literally
Ask
all you
Santa Claus. Ask Santa Claus why you're wrong.
ask Santa Claus, ask JD Drew. Uh, I could continue, but I feel like I would
Michael
take too
Irvin
long.
getting hurt on the field.
Yeah,
Ask him.
yeah,
Cheering that. Ask him why it's so loud in there.
yeah. Like the way it goes is the list of tough places to play in the MLS is Philadelphia 1, literally anyone else after.
Exactly. Don't matter. Put it up. You
Yeah,
can put them all together.
yeah. You can turn every single stadium into one super stadium, and it won't level out to how good it
You
is.
know what though? The LAFC fans really showed out in the CCL.
Oh yeah, dude. They always do. They always show up for all the competition.
Yeah, they
And
really showed up. They impressed me. I was like, wow, they're like us. They're
yeah.
crazy about their team.
Oh yeah. I mean, Austin is definitely crazy about their team too, man. They show up. They've been doing some incredible tifos already this year too.
Even the new franchise, St. Louis. I watched
Yeah.
one
Oh
of
my
their games. That
goodness.
stadium they were into it.
Rocking. St. Louis is
MLS is starting to
on
take a step
board.
here.
Yeah. It's incredible what's been going on with it, and just the fact that just having the tournaments that we have to go along with the regular season so that other like people abroad can see how raucous an MLS stadium can get.
Yeah, 100%.
Uh Eric actually saying that he wants an MLS Cup final rematch in the CCL semis.
Haha, that'd be nice.
Oh my
That would
goodness,
be
that would
nice.
be incredible. That would be so good. But yeah, he also had said that CCL is still the focus, need wins at home though, and I 100% agree with that. The CCL is still a big focus for Philadelphia at this point, especially because of the fact that you went and played on such a rough field that you had to play on against Alianza, and then be able to come home and be like, so this is what a field's supposed to be, and this is
Yeah,
how
and then
we
go back
normally
go
play.
back to a terrible field. They
Yeah, and
went
then
from like
have
the
yeah,
worst field in the world. They went from like the worst field in the world to a beautiful field to like the second worst field in the whole
yep,
entire world.
yeah, and then now to have to turn around when you go back into CCL play and have to play against Atlas in the next
Yeah,
round for a home and home is going to be really good. You won't be seeing a few MLS teams actually. One of them being Austin FC.
disappointing losing to
Oh,
that Haiti team, Violet S, whoever they were.
so hurtful. Just downright disrespectful for the way they played that second leg.
You know what's hurtful? Or you're Orlando, right? You tie on the road, you tie at home, you lose on an away goal. I would like to see them just. That's where you go to extra time and penalty kicks. You got 0-0, 1-1. No matter where it happened, it shouldn't matter where it happened.
Yeah,
They should be going to extra time there. I feel that's a hurt for
yeah,
Orlando.
that one's a heartbreak. But like
Yeah,
the thing with Austin was like you came out and you dominated on the road, and then just came back home and folded.
yeah, got destroyed.
Like how do you do that to your fan base and to yourselves? Like you walked in there and were like, this is why we are being considered one of the best teams right now in our league. And you
Yeah,
totally understand that. Like 13th ranked team in League MX. Come
yeah,
back to our
that was.
place and see how we do. You walk in and they're just having a nap the entire time. Like just it was such so uninspiring the play that Austin FC put up in that match. It was just so rough. But like that Orlando one was a heartbreaker.
Yeah, that's a heartbreaker. That's a heartbreaker. I mean,
Yeah.
what Austin lost the first leg of that. I think they
Yeah.
went there. They lost. They lost at home, or they lost on the road.
They lost at home.
At home, 4-0. Wow,
Bro,
that's tough.
it
What do you
was
think of
so tough.
what do you think about this Atlas team? I don't know much about Atlas.
I do not know much about them thus far. I've been doing a little bit of research. They're definitely up higher in the standings than Alianza was in Liga MX. So um, they're definitely going to be playing a bit tougher than Alianza was because you could tell from that like the tail end of that second match like Alianza did not expect to be able to get too far through that tournament.
Nah, but they can't. They're the team that's in first place in the El Salvadorian League. Now imagine that. That's a very weak league.
Yeah, that's because they literally every single corner that we had, they played the exact same way.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
Damian Lau scored, and they were like, "Well, what the hell do we do now?"
Yeah, they
Like,
had no idea. They were just fight. They were trying to hold on that hope from the second that game started. They wanted to try to get that to PKs.
yeah, definitely.
So
William Yeager checking in here. What's going on, Will? He's wondering who all the players are that we're going to be missing.
it'll be
It's
Daniel
what
Gazdag, Jose Martinez, McGlynn, Sullivan,
uh, yeah,
Odava,
Richard Odata, Brendan Craig, and I
one
believe
other
that's
guy.
it.
7 guys, right? I think we
Who
got
is
them
the
all.
other one? I do believe we covered them all.
Gazdag, Martinez, Sullivan, McGlynn, Odata, Craig,
And there's
and
there, yeah, there's definitely one more.
one other guy. It's 7 total. It's about 2 key players from the bench with McGlynn and Sullivan, and 2 starters with Gazdag and Carranza out.
Yeah, I genuinely can't remember off the top of my head. I'm trying to see if I can find it really quick. Damian Lau.
Damian Lau, he's going to Jamaica. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's in Jamaica. So they're the 7.
yeah. Those were the 4 senior team call ups for their country, and then we had Sullivan, Craig,
McGlynn.
and McGlynn all going to the US U20 team for some play over there. Yeah, that's definitely Concacaf for you for sure, Eric. 100%.
Yeah. Oh, that was CONCACAF so bad. That dog was great though. That
It
was
really
actually.
was.
So I'm watching the game, right? And I see my girlfriend sitting next to me. She don't watch sports. She's like on her phone, right? So the dog's
Yeah.
going through, but all girls love dogs. So I'm like, yo, babe, it's a dog. Look at the dog running through the stands. I'm like, guarantee that dog in El Salvador, that dog is finding his way on the field.
Oh
So
yeah, dude.
she falls asleep And I'm like banging her. I'm like, wake up, wake up. The
There's a
dog's on the
dog.
field. I told you the dog's on the field. I was like, I told you, I told you, I told you. It's El Salvador. He's definitely finding his way in.
Yeah, dude, from what Gus said, that dog is like a well-known dog in the neighborhood and always finds his way in when they're playing matches. So like, it's
He
like
would.
it's basically like like a side mascot for the team is like, hey,
Uh,
send the dog on in, let him in.
you know, I mean, you don't like seeing the game stop because whatever momentum and stuff, but that was great to see,
Oh
especially in
yeah,
that boring game too. I was like,
yeah,
that's so funny. That's great.
yeah.
That's
It's a fun little feel good moment in the midst of a
yeah,
match.
very feel good.
Pat saying Orlando is averaging 1 goal a game. Why do I feel like this is a trap game? Pat, you feel like every game is a trap game.
If they were
You
full,
said it
if they
about
were,
he said it
if
about
they were,
Chicago. He said it about Montreal. Now
yeah,
he's saying it about Orlando.
if they were fully loaded, maybe a trap game, but they don't have their goalkeeper who's an all-star. They don't have Facundo Torres, who's a great player for them. I think they'll struggle more than we will.
Yeah,
I think our
definitely.
depth is a little better.
Yeah, our depth is definitely going to be. I feel it's going to have a very solid edge over what Orlando has to offer off of their bench,
I agree.
and the fact that we didn't lose a single defender is very. I feel like is very key for us being able to go through. I agree with Eric right here. On the road, it's probably a trap game, but at home in Philly, definitely not.
Yeah, exactly. It's not at home. I agree with Eric 100%.
Yeah, there's no way you consider even even thinking about going against Philadelphia in this matchup at home.
No. So I think what's it? I think Orlando's plus 370 going into the game. The Union are minus 139 to win in 90. So
As expected.
I think that paints the story right there on
Yeah,
who is supposed to win this game.
yeah, for sure. And just the fact that it's playing Philly in Philly
Yeah.
in MLS play is just no, absolutely not.
It's almost like an impossible thing to do. I think what are we on, like a 24 game like without losing at
Yeah,
home? 24
24
games in a
match
row or something?
unbeaten streak or something like that.
Yeah, unbeaten streak at home. It's ridiculous. So
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think Orlando is going to come in and break that.
yeah, not a chance. They every team that we played had a chance last year and didn't do it. And the teams that have come in here so far to try and do it haven't. Like
Nah,
we got under Chicago's skin so bad that they were willing to let a man throw his night away. Like think about that.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we
Man, dude,
but
this has been awesome. But before we get going, there are some people that we do want to thank for being able to help us out with providing some fun stuff for you guys, along with helping us keep things going here at EOP Sports. Our first one here is David, our guy David Archeri. If you have any questions about workers' compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, criminal law, make sure you get in contact with him at cherryinjury.com, cherryinjurylaw.com, my apologies, or give him a call at 610-565-0300.
give him a call, guys.
Go ahead, Diego.
Okay. So, guys, if you ever want to get some tickets, Sherry's Ticket Town is definitely your place to get them. Save 10% with a promo code of EOP10. You know, for all your sports, concerts, theater, Sherry Ticket Town is the way to go. Trust me. Family
Yeah,
owned and operated since 1940.
not having to deal with those hidden fees is a big thing.
Definitely
And
big.
if you happen to be in the Ridley Park area and you want to, pop in somewhere and be able to catch a game or, just get a nice meal, make sure you're going out to Dolan's Pub on 24 East Sellers Ave. Great environment down there. They got Quizzo, music, memorabilia giveaways. You never know if a Philly legend is going to be stopping in there, hanging out with the fans, throwing back a couple of beers, taking some pictures and stuff like that. If you're in the area, definitely go check out Dolan's.
And last but not least, guys, you know, the best sports people in town, Philly Sports Trips. You should get on a trip with them. It's a lot of fun. They have the Yankee Stadium trip, April 3rd will probably be great. Your own Philadelphia Union in Denver for all you people will definitely be a lot of fun for May 13th to May 16th. And London and Leeds, Union May 24th to 30th across the pond. that's definitely going to be great. So if you're looking for a fun time with a couple hundred people, that's Philly Sports Trips are your people. Get them at www.phillysportstrips.com.
Yeah, I was looking at that London and Leeds trip. You do I think like the second day that you're there, you go and tour Stamford Bridge, where
Oh yeah,
Chelsea
I
FC
was
play.
reading that. I was reading
Then
that. That would be
and
dope.
then yeah, and then the
Philly
next
Sports Trips do a great. They do a great job.
they
I know a
really
couple
do. It's
guys have
incredible.
went, and everyone says it's greatly planned trip. You should definitely go. It's a lot of fun. So definitely get there, guys.
Yeah, it's the that London and Leeds one though. It's the tour of Stamford Bridge. The night that the Union play against NYCFC back here in the States, you're in a pub in London around 1:30 a.m. local time,
Wow, wow,
watching the
having a good
match
old
in
time.
an English pub, and then you round out the weekend. I think it's that Saturday, going to Leeds United to watch them play Tottenham.
You can't ask for a better trip.
Really can't.
You can't. It's all planned for you. It's all perfect. You can't ask for a better trip.
Seriously, definitely give them a check and let them know that your boys from the attacking third sent you over there. Um, Diego, this has been awesome, man. It was so great to have you on. Definitely got to have you on again soon, and especially because of the fact that you're going to be at the match on Saturday, we definitely have to have you back to be able to talk about the environment down there because I feel like that's a fun thing that we should do every time one of us goes. Just have them in on
Yeah,
that Thursday night to just talk about it.
cool, man. I mean, so like I said, I'm back at the game this Saturday. So if you want me to come back on next week, more than gladly come on. It's a lot of fun.
Heck yeah, man, definitely. For
All
you
right,
guys
cool.
out there, we love you. We'll see y'all next week.
All right, guys. See you next week. See you later, man. Have a good night, Allison.